Professor Taylor, thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm honored.
Yes, well, we really could not have done the show without you.
I'm pretty sure he could, but okay.
I mean, you've seen, it's like every time you leave, the mics stop working, and we're like, okay.
Well, it's audio. Audio is always an issue. You know how
Yes.
that is. Video, it's either there or not there. Audio.
Well, okay, so I know you've worked here for 28 years.
I know, I'm old.
No, that's not what I mean. But, like, have you ever seen this style of show kind of done in your time here?
Not this particular style. We've had runs at like sketch comedy, and that was probably a good decade ago. And so we've had variations on studio shows. When video clip shows were all the rage, we had like several. One was country, one was hip hop. So we've had several of those kinds of things. But a late night show, I think this is probably the first time that we've done something like that.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of felt like we didn't hear about anything either, so we were like, this might be interesting.
And it is interesting. It's an interesting form. It's good for practicing the form of late night television, and so it works just as well here at Butler University as it does out in the big world.
Yep, and I remember you saying when we first went to you about this, like, writing comedy is really hard.
It's really hard.
And I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's hard to know where that sweet spot is
Yeah.
because sometimes you get all punchy and your sensibility, it seems funny to you.
Right.
But you got to remember that for even stand-up comics, it's the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're not always, the jokes don't always sing.
Right. Yeah. And so, I kind of talked a little bit about graduating and the horrible things. Not horrible, but it's just stressful. And I know you've probably seen a lot of people that have kind of gone through this transition with your time here. Mm-hmm. What advice would you have for people graduating?
I think for most of our students and your students, your peers, sometimes you don't feel like you know very much, but you actually know quite a bit. And I know you and I have had this conversation before. The difference between when I was an undergraduate student and what you guys have the ability to both know about and learn about and do is so much different and better. So I think the thing that I would advise students is just, take a deep breath, have confidence. I know it feels really strange to be leaving this nice, comfortable environment and going out into the real world, but you're prepared. You've worked hard, and people will get to know you and get to know that work ethic. And so I think for most of my students, I would simply say, relax into it, and figure out where you think your best self could be, and try to get there.
Yeah, no, that's really great. I think that's kind of something I've been kind of dealing with, is like embracing kind of the unknown, because you really don't know.
Nobody likes going into a strange situation. I mean, nobody. I mean, like you say, I've been doing this 28 years, and I still get sweaty palms when I go into a classroom. That's just, it's normal.
Right.
That's a normal feeling, and I would wish it wasn't so for everyone, but it kind of is.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. And so, with the time that you've been here, and I guess, do you have any funny stories or crazy things that you've seen happen while teaching?
Well, you'll have to ask Scott Bridge, who was your first guest on your
Yes,
first show.
yep.
He is kind of the keeper of those kind of crazy moments because people tell him things.
Yeah.
I am more the kind of professor who keeps that at a distance because I don't want to know what's happening. I guess one funny story, it was years and years ago. We used to do live sports on WTBU, which was an over-the-air station. And we did them live. And we had a streaker one year, and every single camera, I was in the truck, and I wasn't directing, but I was, kind of standing there behind everybody. Every single camera followed the streaker. Every single one. There wasn't a cutaway shot to be had. And so, we had kind of full frontal nudity on the air for a very short period of time. So crazy, I'm not sure that's crazy, but these things happen when you're doing live shows.
When you said streaker, I was like, now is that a short term for something else? And then I was
No,
like, oh my gosh, she really means streaker.
Streaker, yes, the buck naked kind. That would be the kind of streaker we had. And you'd think one of the cameras, because we were screaming, don't follow him, don't follow him, don't follow him, and none of the cameras, we didn't have a single one that we could go to.
Oh my gosh.
So we ended up just taking black on the air, which is another terrible, terrible thing to have to do, but
Or put the sensor
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we'd have been able to post it, yeah, so follow this, but no.
That is
it's kinda
too
crazy.
funny. I actually, I was telling Matthew how the first time I had met you, how I came to your office and was like, so I've done some video work and like kind of wondering like if I could get credit for it. And I walked away, I was like, oh my gosh, I think she hates me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your impression?
Yeah, and I was like,
I don't
oh
hate
my gosh,
anybody.
I'm so scared. And I don't know, I was like, oh,
Of
maybe
me?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of.
And I told Professor Bridge, he's like, what? Like, she's like the nicest person ever. And like, will help
Maybe
you
it
with
was
anything.
just a bad day.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe it's a bad day for me too. And I was like, what happened? I was like, oh my gosh. Goes back 2 years later. No.
No, usually I'm pretty genial, but like I say, everybody has a bad day, so it could have been me.
No, it's okay. And now look where we are, so that's good. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And
Really, it has been a pleasure. I'm watching you guys master this form and work really well as a collaborative team. It's been really nice to see. So I appreciate you guys welcoming into your little group.
yes, no, we appreciate it too. And I know that like we honestly could not have done it without you. I mean, I don't say that lightly. So really, thank you so much.
You're welcome.